All right, what's going on, beautiful people? It's the North Shore 9 Postgame Show. I'm Tyler. With me is my guy, Dougie Fresh. Dougie Fresh. The Cardinals kind of stink.
Yeah, they do. I mean, just imagine had you told us that in August that we had won 5 straight against the Cardinals, and that we're 6-2 in the season series. Just imagine the visions of sugar plums dancing in our head. We would have thought, But I think some of us sort of thought the Cardinals weren't going to be that good this year. We didn't think they're going to be this bad. But, man, they just –
they stink.
They're terrible.
Flat out, they stink.
I mean, yesterday they looked like the 2022 Pirates. I mean, they just couldn't do anything right.
You know what, Doug? And, I think the Angels get too much criticism because they have Shohei Ohtani and they have Mike Trout. Cardinals have Nolan Arenado, and the Cardinals have Paul Goldschmidt.
Paul Goldschmidt, right?
They're terrible.
Yeah, and again, the Angels have been bad for 20 years, right? The Cardinals are good every single year. Like, how could they not see, that Molina was going to retire? That that Pujols, that was a one-year magic ad.
Of this devil magic. Yeah, he almost had to have been.
It appears to be, right? I mean, they can't pitch. I mean, they're still a fundamentally sound team. Their rookies come up and certainly look better than ours. But man, Wainwright, you had to know it sooner or later that it was going to fall apart. And man, and again, it did sort of follow the script there. The Dallas Keuchel, a pitcher that has been good and then has been terrible for a while and just throws perfecto against the Pirates. But we got to him, led by Alika Williams and Vinny Capra and Fernando Rivas, the core
Fernando
of the future.
Rivas. So that name works for me, Fernando.
Yeah,
well, let's go ahead and start with old Wayno, because I talked to DiNardo during Starbucks on Monday.
Yes, you did. I think I remember a prediction of a sweep. I think you're that sweep. The sweep is still.
Well, I don't know if we predicted the sweep, but we thought 1 out of 3 was.
You were pretty strong leaning toward the sweep, right? I watch. I'm a big fan.
and you mentioned it already, Doug. Right. Adam Wainwright, he was mowing the Pirates down early on. He looked like 29-year-old Adam Wainwright, just spotting it wherever he wanted to, curveball working. Pirates just could not make hard contact on him. And then he turned into the Adam Wainwright that everybody kind of knows now, that's well past his prime and everybody else has been beaten up on. Yeah,
quick. And again, right, I mean, the big blows were Reynolds and McCutchen, but it was started out. It was started out by consecutive hits from Vinny Capra, Fernando Rivas, Alika Williams, and then a RBI ground out there for Bay. This was not murderer's row that got to Wainwright. Like I said, the finishing touches were put by the two best hitters on the team. But yeah, it was just he just complete 180. It's like, who is this guy? It's not the guy that pitched those 3 perfect innings.
Yeah, I mean,
just so nice to see. God, he's killed us every single time for 100 years. So it was like, finally.
Right. I mean, I guess to go back to that inning there, Capra and Rivas get on. I'll give credit where credit's due. Not the biggest Alika Williams fan in the world. Just an absolute beautiful bunt gets laid down. That's something the Pirates really just have not been able to do, is little things very well.
Right.
And that is a perfect opportunity. I don't know where it came from. I don't know if Williams decided he was going to do it on his own. I don't know if Derek Shelton told him to do it. No idea where it came from, but the execution of it was perfection.
Interesting. He was developed in another organization, right? So he can bunt.
But I mean, it really was as good as you can draw it up from him. Loads the bases up, and I've been harsh on G1 Bay. What he brings to this lineup there, that is that's very valuable what he's able to do in that situation, because he does have, although the strikeout numbers have been a bit concerning this year, he does have, I think, good bat to ball skills. And I think in that situation there, he's almost impossible to double up. So as long as he's able to put the ball in play in that situation, unlike we've seen a Jack Sawinski do, and I don't want to just pile on Jack Sawinski, but just using him as an example,
right?
Because he's the first guy off the top of the head, because we've seen it happen so often this year. G1 Bay there is able to just put a baseball in play. He drives a run in, and then the floodgates just sort of open up after that.
Yeah, it's remarkable what happens when you make contact and string a few hits together, right? You put pressure on the defense, you put pressure on the pitcher, and it's too often, and especially in the past 4 seasons of our 5 through 9 hitters, we've made it easy. The pitcher could relax, the defense could relax. You were going to get weak contact, you were going to get strikeouts, and just some singles, nothing special, just a few hits together. And then, Reynolds gets you the double, Cutch gets the home run, and suddenly you're up 6-1.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds simple there, but the ability to put a baseball in play with the bases loaded and 1 out, and also it helps when you have a guy that can run like G1 Bay.
Right. You're right.
Just the ability to put a ball in play there. It's not playing for the grand slam at that situation. It's not trying to hit a 3-run double. Just doing a job. This team does not do a job enough.
No, right. The approach here, yeah. I mean, it seems like everybody's selling out for a home run or a walk. We seem to be the, 3 true outcome, approach. And it's right. Just simple. Yeah, exactly. And we don't have, again, this is in our best version of ourselves. We're still going to be an undermanned, talent-wise team, right? Just because of salary and what have you. So we have to do the little stuff, right? Honestly, the model I always think we should follow is the St. Louis Cardinal model. I don't think we should try to be Tampa Bay. They don't get everything right. What does St. Louis do? They develop nice, solid players. They trade prospects for stars and then extend the stars. Edmonds, Holiday, McGuire. We're not going to compete in free agency, and you can't turn everybody into, from your minors into a superstar. But they come up and they're like I said, they're fundamentally sound. They put the ball in play. They throw to the right base. That should be our approach. We have to do the little stuff right to win games. And if 5'6", 185-pound dudes are swinging for the fences all the time, it doesn't make any sense. And when you've got the kind of speed that G1 Bay does, right, just like you said, make contact and see if put the pressure on the defense.
No, I really do think there's not enough. Just do a job here. Yeah. That's it. It sounds simple, and I think that Major League Baseball in general got away from it because of the 3 true outcome little shift we had there for a while. But I feel like we've seen that sort of shift with Guardians last year and some other teams that really went to a contact type of approach. There's still a lot that you can do in a baseball game that does not involve hitting a home run.
No, I'm from the go-go 70s where, the get them on, get them over, and get them in type guy. And I'm still a firm believer. I think it could work even more so now because teams don't play. They're teaching their pitchers, to go for strikeouts, and they're shifting in based on these kind of approaches. Luis Arraez, there's room for guys like him. And I understand he's an extreme, there's a guy that can hit 370, but the Pirates should be trying to develop some of those guys. Again, it's a post-game show, but it seems like we have Tamar Johnson selling out for power, He's hitting 235, and supposedly he's got the greatest bat to ball skills for a high school player in the history of the universe. He's hitting 235. Right. But yeah, sure, he's hitting. But is he going to hit home runs like that in the major leagues? I'm not so sure. I'd rather try to turn him into Jose Altuve than Jose Canseco. But there's, like you said, a simple. That
needs to be a TikTok right there.
But it's just a simple approach, and just like I said, put the bat to the ball. Bob Walk says it all the time. Good things happen when you make contact with a baseball.
I mean, you do.
You're right. I mean, there's just so many more options. So many things can happen, and we seem to be, again, every guy in the lineup trying to. And we don't have guys with that kind of power. We don't have guys with that kind of talent.
And to be honest, I don't feel like they ever really will. They're not going to be a team that's ever going to be able to put together a roster full of guys that are all that 1 through 7 looks like the 2002 Oakland A's that just walk a bunch and are able to hit balls over the fence at will.
Yeah, we're not going to create
like Moneyball's
the Atlanta Braves.
Moneyball don't work.
Yeah. Everybody, right? Everyone's read the book and seen the movie now, right?
Yeah.
It's not a.
We're well beyond that.
Right. Yeah, we need a sequel, and I mean, you're right. We're not going to put the Atlanta Braves together. It'd be nice. And they do it with mostly homegrown talent. But the minute they lose Freddie Freeman, they go get Matt Olson. We're never going to do that. As soon as we lose Freddie Freeman, we're gonna go get Fernando Rivas. So,
Fernando. Where did the Fernando come from? What am I missing here?
I'm not sure. Don't know.
All right, well, follow it up there with Brian Reynolds just continues to stay hot dog.
Oh, man. It's great. It is great to see, but my goodness, we need a season of it. I mean, it's nice now, but
you need him to be able to carry you in more important situations.
Right.
And honestly, he hasn't had the opportunity to do so because his team's been so bad for so long.
Yeah.
But there were many times early in the year where they desperately needed Brian Reynolds to be a stud. When they were 20-8 and then they were just flapping along in May, Brian Reynolds needed to be this Brian Reynolds, and he wasn't.
And then he wasn't in June, where historically he has been. That was the sort of more devastating blow as far as I was concerned. He was like a top 5 all-time hitter in June. June. His name was up there with like Luke Gehrig and Ty Cobb for batting averages in the month, and then he had a terrible June. And this team, he could have used Brian Reynolds being Brian Reynolds, and it hurt. We need. He's our best player. He is our signature, contract in the franchise's history, and we need. Again, he doesn't have to be a 6-WAR guy, but he needs to be more than a 3-WAR guy.
Yeah. He needs to be able to go win you a baseball game every now and then.
Right. Yeah. And he needs to carry you for a week, one of the, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I get, it's probably exhausting. The losing is draining, not having support. He's probably, he's not really being pitched to that great. I would love to, personally, I would kind of like to see, Cutch leading off. Those on-base skills are phenomenal. Reynolds second, and I'm ready to put Endy, batting third. Cruz comes back, bat him fourth, and maybe then, right, some of the pressure is off of him, and you have to worry about some of the other guys that you're facing, and maybe he can get in just a consistent place.
Yeah, I guess the positive to look at here is that it feels like I have to worry less about Brian Reynolds next year than maybe I thought a month ago.
Yeah.
Where it felt like that age curve was going to come into play coming into next year.
Right.
I feel a little better going into next year about him.
Yeah, I do too. He was my, when people were saying, of all the worries on this team, Brian Reynolds he was a big concern for me.
Yeah.
Again, if he doesn't do well, we may never sign a guy to a 2-year contract ever. Right? I mean, he's carrying so much for this team over the next couple of years, and I understand all sorts of things can happen, but we need a good, solid 3 years out of him, before he starts kind of the slip and the slide or what have you.
Right.
And I feel much better now because I was like, oh no, he cannot turn it. the clock cannot have struck 12 on this guy already. So
like not now.
Yeah, not now. Right.
We're in year one. Come on.
I mean, right. I mean, let somebody else in the lineup make an all-star team. Let me feel somebody. There's somebody else I can hang my hopes on. Without getting to see what Cruz was going to do this year with the struggles of Henry Davis and Jack Sawinski. It's like, all we have right now is Brian Reynolds. Please, please don't regress with everybody else.
Right. And then I guess just one more guy I want to touch on a hair on the offensive side. Connor Joe. I've obviously been a fan of Connor Joe all year. I like what he brings. I like the way he plays. What I'm seeing right now from Connor Joe is what we saw early on from him. He has a good approach to the plate right now, but I feel like at some point during the down stretch that the Pirates were on, we saw Connor Joe kind of turn into Jack Sawinski, where he was very, very, very patient to a fault.
Right.
And he is at his best where he is still up there trying to hit. At some points in this year, it felt like Connor Joe was trying to walk. And obviously, there's something to be said about he just played a little bit too much. He's not that kind of guy. But I think we're seeing a little more of a Connor Joe that looks more aggressive at the plate. He looks more free. He just looks a lot more comfortable, I think.
Yeah, when he's aggressive, I mean, he's a very patient hitter. And the Pirates obviously love that, teach that, and preach it. But right, we have too many guys watching hittable pitches going by. Stuff you can do something with. And he fell into that. He fell into a real bad stretch where it looked like his only mission was to draw a walk. Right. He did not look like he was at all trying to do damage, and when he's trying to do damage, he's got doubles, he's got gap power. And and he's a good guy to have on this team. He should be batting 7th or 8th, not, in the middle of the lineup. He shouldn't be as overexposed and play as often as we've played him. But, you can have a good team and have Connor Joe be one of your, top bench players. And I'm with you. I'm a fan. He just needs to be a little more aggressive than he'd been probably for June and July.
All right. Let's talk about the Johan Oviedo revenge game.
Wait. One more thing.
Go ahead.
Cutch did hit his 299th home
I mean,
run.
he is the headline of this show.
No, but I get it's just, listen, a week ago, I was concerned that he wasn't going to get to 300 this year. Because it's been a while, it'd been a while since he hit one earlier and then, the one tonight. So, right. It's not a big deal, whatever. But now at least I feel he's going to hit that milestone, this year. So,
I mean, I hope so. We've seen him go through some home run slumps.
Right.
Not really a slump, but we've seen him go through the
it.
power slump.
Right.
We're now at 299. I'm going to be honest. If 300 comes, I'm probably not even going to notice because it's 300 and whatever.
Right.
But yeah,
not the magic number it once was.
I guess the question that needs to ask you, Doug, is: are you intrigued?
Am I intrigued?
By the
course, I'm intrigued.
I'm
I'm so intrigued that I would purchase a T-shirt if one such T-shirt was available. About the level of my intrigue, but all I have is one that says North Shore 9.
Yeah, nobody wants that. All right, Johan Oviedo revenge game. Oviedo goes 5, strikes out 5, gives up 1 run.
Earlier in the season, he beat him. He went 7 and only gave up a hit. I think shut him out. But okay.
Yeah, but I like all revenge games.
More revenge, right?
Yeah. I want all the revenge games.
Yeah, well, because so often we're the victim of every Kevin Newman comes and hits a 400-foot home run against us in his first game again. So yeah, it's nice, and it's just good to get to see good Oviedo. As opposed to, the one that blows up so quickly. It was only 5 innings, 1 run. He did his job. As you said, we need more guys doing their job. He did his job. I really wish him and Keller, and they're managing innings now at this point, so they'll probably never get to go 7 again the rest of the season. But, and we got a lot of bullpen guys.
So I'll be honest, I think pulling Oviedo today when they did wasn't a bad idea. Yeah. I thought he did look a little shaky.
He wasn't as sharp as he has been, right? He was putting guys on base and they were getting over to second and third. They were in scoring position, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
The Cardinals team can't hit.
To be honest, everybody that the Pirates threw on the mound tonight looked a little bit shaky, aside from maybe Bednar.
Oh, yeah, he looked really good. Moretta, I could not believe he came out for a second inning. No offense, Neil, but there's no way that if I'm after that first inning where he gave up a double and 2 outs to the wall, I'm like, I'm not bringing him out for another inning. But Shelton, the master chess player that he is, did, and got a little scary there for a minute.
Yeah, and Moretta looked really bad today, I think. I really don't have anything positive to say about him. He looked awful.
He looked terrible, right? I mean, he got away with it, but he looked terrible.
There
was no posing today.
Right? Yeah, I'm not going to really go in depth on him because he could come back out in probably 2 days and look really good, and right. I'll forget that this even happened, because I think for the most part, since he came off the IL, he's looked relatively good.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He is an intriguing part of this bullpen in the future, I believe. I do believe that. And right.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect every game.
Yeah, for the most part, since he's come off the IL, I think he's looked pretty good. Not really many complaints tonight. Was not good. If he has another one of these, I will complain a lot. But
not you.
Give him a pass on the night because they won 6-3, and he didn't really give up anything major. So Moretta goes an inning and 2/3, I believe.
Yeah. Holderman came in and got the last out. Yeah.
And then Holderman came in. Also, not a sharp outing from Colin Holderman.
That is kind of a theme. He again, since coming back from the injured list, he's been pretty good, but it's not smooth sailing. It's not a lot of 1, 2, 3.
No, it's not. He'll go through phases where he is dominant, and then he looks like this.
Right.
Part of it may be coming in an unclean inning. I don't know.
It shouldn't be. That's not a real good excuse, right? It's not a real good excuse.
He needs to be better.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he's been pretty good this year. I'm not going to beat him up.
Yeah. And again, when you score runs, right, you can afford for your bullpen to not be perfect, right? So it does help when you put up 6, and they don't have to be as sharp. So
yeah, I mean, it's mentioned here in the chat. It's nice whenever the bullpen can give up a couple runs and not have it ruin the night. That's really what happened tonight. The bullpen did not look good tonight.
Right. No.
When you score 6 runs and your starting pitching gives up 1 and 5, you can live with that.
Right. You can hide some, cover up some of the sins when.
Yeah, I mean, just a good bit of complimentary baseball tonight.
Right.
The hitting, the starting pitching picked up the bullpen.
And Bednar, I love seeing Bednar coming in for saves. When we have 3 runs, I feel so. And then
I'll be honest, the way that tonight looked, I'm okay with it because it just felt like something was going to go wrong.
I agree, because I was kind of hoping he wouldn't have to pitch, but then I'm like, no, we need the hammer. Right? We need to just lock this one down.
If Bednar didn't come in, I don't know if they would have won this game.
Yeah.
Or he would have had to come in a really bad spot.
Right. Well, then you're right. He's going to come in with second and third, nobody out type thing. Right.
So I'm okay going Bednar there. Normally 3 runs. I don't really like to abide by the save situation, but that spot, completely okay with it, because that game just felt like it was on the grasp of getting out of hand at some point.
Right. And we're Pirates fans. We're still a little gun shy.
I'm trained that way.
Right. All right. My inclination to think is this is going bad. It's going bad quickly.
Yep.
Please fix this now. Right.
Exactly. But anything else you want to touch on, Doug?
No. Hey, listen, we've taken the series from St. Louis. It looks like we might take the season series from St. Louis. We still have, I think, 3 more with them in St. Louis coming up.
They played again, I think, at least, but
I know they play at the end of this month, because I was thinking of going.
Yeah, and I think they play again in September.
Yeah, they probably do. But yeah, I mean, look, win the series. That's all. That's what you want. That's what good teams do. beat bad teams, right? These are all the things you're supposed to do.
And the Cardinals are a bad team. I just want to mention again.
They are a bad team, right? They got some name recognition, but my goodness, they are awful.
It's
just so odd. It's just so, it doesn't seem like I'm watching the St. Louis Cardinals.
They really can't pitch worth a shit.
Right. Yeah. They don't have anybody. They can get anybody out. It's just unbelievable. Yeah. And like I said, before the season, we all kind of said, man, I'm not too sure about their pitching, but they're the Cardinals. They'll figure it out.
Yeah. It's not even just they can't get anybody out. They don't have anybody that's intriguing either.
There's no intrigue.
None.
I mean,
like that Drew Rom fellow they tossed at us last night. He was terrible.
Yeah, I felt bad for that kid in over his head.
Man.
Right.
And Adam Wainwright's a shell of himself.
Yeah, it's time. I think Jim said it earlier. It's time for him to hang it up, and But I mean, I could kind of see why they're like, oh, we can't give up on him now. We don't have anybody else.
Yeah, they need the innings.
Yeah, you're right. He's probably a good veteran presence and all that. It's good stuff.
Sure, he can be their Austin Hedges.
Yeah, Austin Hedges' influence was felt in this game as well, as Endy got a catcher's interference for the second night in a row. So Hedgie.
Can I just mention, whoever is teaching these catchers how to frame needs fired tomorrow, because something is going wrong here where somebody that's teaching these guys doesn't know what the hell they're doing. I've never seen a team get so many catchers interference calls.
No, I don't. I mean, again, they're not memorable things, but yeah, I think I've gone seasons, maybe a decade without seeing them. And have we set the all-time record for catchers interferences in a season?
They have to.
It's unbelievable.
At the very least, top 5.
Yeah, right. I can. I mean, there's been oh my God, there's been at least half dozen this year. It's unlike anything I've ever seen.
Austin Hedges had a half dozen himself.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, he probably had that by June.
You know what? I hope it was him that taught this, because I want to blame him.
Yeah. No, it is more of our stellar player development.
Sure.
We don't teach you anything in the minors. We don't teach you how to bunt. We don't teach you what base to throw to. And then when you get up here, we put you in a new position. And so it's just to make sure that you know absolutely nothing. So,
that's the hardest way, Doug.
Right. The post-game show. You guys save that for Starbucks.
Yeah. Let's get the hell out of here.
Absolutely.
All right, we're out of here. Pirates win 6-3. That was too negative for the win, but
I know. We won and we beat the Cardinals. I don't know. We should be throwing a parade, but let's get a sweep tomorrow. And
sweep would be nice.
I need 67 wins to hit the over on the win total. So
there we go. Let's get Doug
another priorities.
Let's get Doug another 11 wins. That way you don't push.
Right. Yeah. No. Oh, please fight. Don't put that bad juju on me, Ricky Bobby.
All right. Let's get out of here, Doug.
All right.
We're out of here.
Night, guys.
Peace out, Girl Scouts.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.